Hey, history buffs! Today we're diving into one of the most incredible stories of the medieval world, the Muslim trade empire that connected Africa, the Middle East, and even China. Between the 7th and 11th centuries, Muslim merchants dominated the Indian Ocean, driving global trade and shaping the economic landscape. And trust me, the scale of this commerce will blow your mind. So let's explore the key figures, wars, and trade networks that made this era so influential. Muslim merchants weren't just local traders, they controlled a vast intercontinental network that stretched from East Africa all the way to China. They transported African ivory, frankincense, and even Zanj slaves to the far reaches of the Muslim world, while luxury goods like Chinese silk and porcelain found their way to the Middle East and beyond. By the time Islam spread across the Middle East, Muslim merchants had already established key trade routes across the Indian Ocean. But what really set them apart was their ability to connect different civilizations. These traders weren't just transporting goods, they were spreading ideas, technology, and culture across continents. Two major dynasties shaped this trade: the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad and the Fatimids in North Africa. By the 11th century, the Red Sea route overtook the Persian Gulf as the most important trade corridor. Egypt, under the Fatimids, became a powerhouse, with Cairo emerging as one of the world's most important trading hubs. Now let's talk about China. Even though Chinese merchants didn't sail beyond the Malayan Peninsula during the Tang Dynasty, their goods reached Africa through Muslim intermediaries. Chinese porcelain and silk were highly prized in East African cities like Kilwa and Mogadishu. Imagine the scale of this. Goods made thousands of miles away in China were being sold in African markets. Chinese records show that the demand for African goods was high too. Items like ivory, ambergris, and even Zanj slaves were shipped across the Indian Ocean, making Africa a key part of this global trade. But here's the twist. Most Chinese knowledge about Africa came from Muslim traders. China's early perceptions of Africa were shaped by what Muslim merchants told them. One of the most fascinating episodes in this history was the 945 raid on Pemba Island by the mysterious Wak Wak people, which Ibn Laqis described. According to his account, Chinese merchants were demanding tortoiseshell and panther skins from East Africa. This shows just how interconnected the economies of China, Africa, and the Muslim world were. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The Muslim trade network faced serious challenges. In the 9th century, two major events threatened this thriving commerce: the Zanj Revolt in Lower Iraq and the rebellion in China that led to the massacre of foreign traders in Canton. Despite these setbacks, Muslim trade rebounded, and by the 11th century, the Muslim merchants had re-established dominance. So what made this system work? It wasn't just about wealth, it was about the geography, the skill of Muslim sailors, and the leadership of key figures like the Fatimid rulers in North Africa and the Abbasid caliphs. Their ability to maintain long-distance trade routes and integrate diverse economies set the stage for one of the greatest trade networks the world had ever seen. In many ways, Muslim merchants were the glue that held the Indian Ocean trade network together. Without their knowledge of the sea and their ability to connect distant civilizations, trade between Africa, the Middle East, and China wouldn't have flourished as it did. They set the stage for the global trade that would later reshape the world. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the fascinating world of medieval Muslim commerce. If you loved learning about these trade routes and the key figures that shaped them, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more amazing history content. See you next time.